Hi guys, welcome back to Fresher Pressure podcast. Today, obviously it's me, Hayden, and I'm joined by
Bree.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about studying. How to get the best out of uni academically, how to study well. Bree, start us off, what are your top tips about studying?
Go to the library, go to your lectures. I promise you, go to your library and go to your lectures. People sit down and they start their assignments and think, Shiza, I should have gone to my lectures. Me included, I've done that. But please, go to your lectures and go to the library to do your assignments. Because 9 times out of 10, you will do it last minute and it will not go out. It will not go well at all.
Yeah.
For some, if you're skilled, if you can work under pressure, then you're fine. But if you can't, then
if you're doing it last minute, it won't be as good as if you dedicated more time to it. And I think that applies.
Especially, also go on, sorry.
Yeah, it just applies in terms of if you're really working hard on it for a while, even if you just draft it quickly and then look back through it, you're going to make it better than if you just one shot, gotta make it. So you said about going to lectures, going to the library. How is that how you approach when you get an assignment? What's your first thing that you do when you look at an assignment? If someone says, here's your new module, do you just immediately straight into the assignment, straight into what is it about?
Yeah, when it's new module, I look at what the first, is it PJ1 and PS1, whatever it is.
For R1 we have 2 assignments per module. We have a kind of technical one and we have a group one.
Yeah. So I'll look at the briefs for that and see what it entails, and then it will determine if I will attend lecture. No, I'm joking. But no, I will look at it and see, okay, cool. This is what we're going to be working towards in our own time, I guess, because 9 times out of 10, what we learn in lectures doesn't really apply, or not apply. It doesn't really.
It's not directly.
Yeah. But it does help if you do attend lectures. So I sometimes do attend lectures when I can. Other than that, yeah, I do. Don't look at me like that. I do try. Other than that, I would, make notes. If you can't attend a lecture, make notes. Make notes of the slides. If you have a recording, listen to the recording, make notes. Make notes, just make notes.
My approach is completely different. Mine is, I don't really make notes. I just really listen, really focus when I'm in the lectures, really do my research separately. And then when I approach an assignment, I would normally start by saying, what is this assignment all about? So I might, if it's an academic one, I might run it past sometimes you have academic drop-ins or an academic tutors you can go talk to on site at the uni. There's people who you can talk about how to help you study, how to help you with assignments, and sort of talking to them, getting them to tell you what they think of the assignment, what they think it looks like. Just breaking down the assignment right before you get started on it can help give you a much better idea of what's it about. Even just ask your lecturer.
Literally just ask your lecturer.
What's it really about? Do you want it like this? Do you want it like that? And they'll always end up saying something and you go, oh, didn't know that they wanted it shorter or longer than I thought. And I think making sure you're on the same page as what your lecturer wants.
I was going to say, because if you don't talk to your lecturer, you end up doing the wrong thing. It's not nice at all. It makes you feel like you wasted so much time on the wrong thing. Literally, it makes you know.
That feels the worst. Because it's like,
terrible.
Especially if you do get ahead, you do put in the work, to find out that you've done it on the wrong thing is heartbreaking.
It's horrible. And you have to end up redoing that, and you don't want to redo it, especially if you put so much time and effort into the first time.
Definitely, it's just a complete crushing blow. What do you say in terms of students who feel like they need help, they're struggling in class? What do you think you do? Do you just, because a lot of people will just sit there, be quiet, not really say what's going on. What would you suggest for them to get the support they need?
First, ask your peers. Your peers are there. I guess sometimes it's hard to speak to people you don't know, especially in first year. But ask your peers. They will help you. They will literally help you. If you don't speak to them. But if you don't want to ask your peers, you go to your lecturer, I promise you, it's actually helpful. He will explain, well, not he, but they will explain what they mean to a T. They will literally break it down to you like you're a baby.
Yeah, they're there to help.
They're literally there to help.
Lecturers aren't going to help, and people on your course, lecturers are not there to stop you. They're there to help you. And people on your course are also, even if you find more like comfort in terms of you're also struggling. Like if you find that someone else is also struggling, that helps, because then you can go together and you can then say together to the lecturer, hey, I'm really struggling with that. Right. We have a lecturer here for an interview. So we're going to throw you guys to that, and I hope you can enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back. We're here to do our interview, and we're joined by Nathan Dodso. Nathan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Nathan Dodso. I've been in education for the past 22 years now, and started off in a college setting. Then I went and helped set up an academy, 14 to 19, and then I said, right, let me now head towards my retirement in higher education. But my background is I'm a broadcast journalist. I still do loads of work in sports, directing, different types of sports, squash, badminton, baseball, football, rugby, so different types of sports for an online channel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Well, today we're talking about studying.
Mm-hmm.
So how to be successful in your lectures, how to be great. What do you notice about students that really do successful? What do they do differently?
I think, for me, everything starts with the why. Why am I here? What do I want to get out of it? And then how am I going to get it? So if you understand the purpose or the reason why you're at university, that is the motivation then that you need to motivate yourself towards doing the work. And I think one word that I really feel everyone coming onto a course like this should have is passion. If you don't have passion, it's harder to get motivated. So I think to succeed, you need passion, but you then also need to know why you're doing something. Why am I doing this? Why am I getting up in the morning? Why am I going to uni? What do I want to get out of it? How am I going to challenge, my lecturers in terms of, right, I really need to acquire this knowledge. Give me the knowledge. And, you have to have a thirst for learning in order to get ahead. Yeah.
Have you ever had students that have really, really challenged you? Ones that have thrown stuff at you where you've gone, why are you asking? I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I don't pretend to know everything, but I know someone who will know something else that I may not know. Because the thing about this industry, I've worked in TV from 1993, right? And within that time, I've worked in international TV and local national television. So the network that I have is massive. I've got a network in sound engineers. I've got a network in visual operators or visual mixers. I've got people that focus on lighting. I've got cinematographers. I've got DOPs. So editors, people, some that I've taught that have gone into the industry and are flying. So even though I may not know something, I know someone who knows something, or someone who knows someone else who knows something, So yes, I welcome challenge, even if I don't know, I'll find the answer for you, or I'll help you find the answer. Yeah.
One of the things that we students here, when they immediately get to uni, aren't really thinking about, but as it trends towards the end, they start thinking about the best things to have learnt at uni more generally or more specific, where for the future, when they leave uni and go into the industry that they're going into, what's something that you think is a great skill to acquire while you're at uni, while you've got more time than you will when you're having to work full time, trying to get where you want to be?
Well, one of the key things within our sector is communication. You know, effective communication, being able to communicate with others within a team. So communication, then teamwork. You know, depending again on where you want to fit into the industry, critical thinking, you know, problem solving. There's quite a few what I'll call transferable skills that you need to master. But the key ones, I think, are communication and team working skills. You know, within, because obviously, you know, you look at the credits at the end of any TV program or movie, loads of names, you know, so we don't work in isolation. We work with others. Each person is a cog in a, you know, on a you know, a chain, a bicycle chain. So if you pull out one of the links, the bike doesn't move. So see yourself as a cog. You know, what do I bring? What's my value? What value am I adding to this team? Yeah, because someone else has got something else they're bringing. And together, sound, picture, editing, and so forth creates what we then see on our screens.
Yeah. Really wonderful analogy there about the cog in a machine. So when you work towards these skills, do you recommend students... So a lot of those skills you're going to work towards just in class, just in general. Do you think students should take time to really stop and reflect and try and almost like build a program of trying to get better at those kind of things? Like look at the last time I tried teamwork. Do you think having a kind of more, almost a way more structured version of skills that you don't normally consider as ones that you get better at? It seems to be typical that you're a good communicator or a bad communicator, not, you know, getting better. It's more binary. Do you think working on skills like those, more soft skills, within a structure at uni, do you think that's a really good idea?
Indeed. Put it this way. I come into any situation with a set of skills that I have. Yeah. So does everyone else, you know. So sometimes we all need to take stock and reflect. Reflection is a key part of anyone's development, because you have to reflect on what you have and what you need to develop. Again, depending on where you need to end up. So, and it's about being true to yourself. I think some people come to university and they think they're doing it for someone else, you know. So I will attend lessons so that Nathan doesn't have to email me to say, why aren't you here? They actually forget that attending lessons is what then helps them develop the necessary skills that they then need. Some people may get it, say, towards the third year, when it's, oh gosh, 2 years is already gone. You know, I'm about to go into the world of work. What have I developed? And then they start to now, you know, kind of panic to try and get all these skills that they could have been developing over the past 2 years. They try and now develop them all at once in the final year. I always say, do a skills audit at the start. Think about where you want to end up. And based on that, you work backwards, right? So my 5-year goal is to be working in TV, right? As, you know, an editor or a producer. I then look at what is required of a producer. What sort of skills? What sort of work does the producer do? You know, what sort of attributes does a producer need to have? And then I look at myself and I say, right, okay, I've got these skills, I've got these attributes, but I'm lacking A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because now I've got this list, I now know what I need to work on over the next 3 years. Yeah, there's different people that can help you. So what can Nathan help you with? You know, what can Jez help you with? What can, you know, Karin help you with? What can Anthony help you with? Everyone's coming with different elements that they can add to your development. But you need to know where you are. It's not for someone else to tell you where you are. It's for you to reflect and say, right, you know what, I've looked at, you know, what I need. So let me develop the necessary skills that I need to get in order to get to that third year, having developed those skills. And also, if you can, start gaining some experience, right? Because it means that as you're going out of uni, you just don't have a degree, but you've got a degree and some experience, and also you've polished on some of those skills that you need. to actually get into the industry. The other thing is consider your network, because there was a famous phrase, especially in my area, which was, it's not what you know, it's who you know, so the network is very important. But if you're introduced to professionals and you feel, oh gosh, I'm walking into a room, I don't know anything, what gives you then the confidence to go and approach someone and say, listen, I'm an undergrad, I'm really aspiring. What do you say to them when you meet them? That makes them put their head up and want to talk to you. Yeah. So you have to also realize that you need to develop that confidence, and that confidence comes from understanding yourself, understanding the skills you currently possess, and also know where, whatever you don't know, you don't know. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I know everything. I may not know everything, but I know someone who knows something else. So, and that's from me having to reflect on myself. Yeah. So we're always learning. We're never too old to learn. As long as you open yourself to learning, to growing, to developing, then at the end of the day, I think the sky's the limit. But always reflect after each module you do, or at the start of each module. Why have I selected this module? How is it going to work for me? Yeah. How am I going to stretch the lecturer to give me all the knowledge that I need to make sure by the time I finish this module, I'm a better or well-informed, person. I've developed the necessary skills that I need. Sometimes you get, again, like I say, students who feel they're coming for the lecturer, the assignment. The assignment is just a way of you checking, reflecting on what you know and what you don't know. Yeah, but coming and being present, actively present, is the key part, because that helps you then develop all the necessary skills, knowledge, attributes that we're talking about that you then need to then say, right, I'm ready,
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've just run out of time a bit. We're going to throw back for some quick fire questions before we finish. Welcome back. We're here for some final quick fire questions. Bree's favourite. Bree, it's the day that nobody wants.
Mm-hmm.
You've put it off. You've been partying. You've been not doing your due diligence. Assignment is due in.
What type?
You've got one.
Sorry, I have to.
Let's say an essay type, very common assignment.
Okay.
For the next day, what's your plan? What's the first thing you got to do? Obviously, it's not the optimal scenario, but in terms of getting this done, what do you recommend people do on the last minute?
You run. Do you know what you do? You pack up your bag, you pack up your notebook, you pack up your laptop, you pack up your iPad, you pack up your Mac, and you pack up whatever you need to study. Put it in your bag and run to the library. I promise you. Well, I can't say I promise you, but it's very...
Getting to the library is... Being at the library when you're studying seems to be the biggest thing to, no distractions, not got your phone on, not got the TV,
literally turn your phone off too if you're in a library.
Or family or flatmates coming in and out, just you in the library.
And you don't leave until it's done. You don't leave until those 2,000 words have been written. If it takes you 14 hours, doesn't matter. You're going to do it.
So you're just full lock-in.
You have to lock in.
Pure lock-in.
You left the assignment until the last day. Till the last day. It's 11:59. The day before the assignment's due at 8 p.m. You're not gonna get an extension on that. I'm sorry. Let's be honest. What's your excuse? There's not an excuse. Sorry. You're gonna have to lock in.
Yeah, you definitely gotta lock in. I would recommend as much as it might be tempting to just go straight for Red Bulls, Coke, straight in with a hugely caffeinated drinks. That may cause problems, because if you have too much caffeine, you get a bit jittery, you actually become way less productive. And I find it just doesn't help. I think once you get going, stay calm. It's definitely one. And once you get started, just keep setting little goals. Once you get to 500 words, you can say each time to put it into a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 2,000 or 4,000, if you get to 500, eighth of the way there for 4,000. You're a quarter of the way there for 2,000. You've only got a little bit more for the next marker. by having those smaller milestones, you can make sure you keep the pressure off and feel like you're making more progress in that sense, rather than feeling like I've still got to get, I've got to get so many words. It's like, instead of,
Don't think about it like that.
yeah, it's like you're breaking it down into steps rather than just a wall of information. Right, that's all we've got time for. Very sadly.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.